Hello everyone and welcome to this game of the week. This is going to be an Arabia matchup between some of the top level players. I'm joined here once again with Joshua, who is going to be casting for his first time with me. And let's introduce some of the players. So we have teal and blue. This will be TheMax and Lyx. In the bottom left we have TheMax playing as his favorite color and as his civilization being Chinese. On the top right we have Lyx playing as the Aztecs. Would you like to introduce the other team, Joshua?
Sure. So, looks like we have VNA partners here, Vietnamese players. We've got in the orange on the top left corner of the map, €8. I don't know. This is the first time I've seen that.
BacT.
Oh, that's BacT. Okay, that makes sense. Explains the color too. So he's playing in the orange as the Byzantines, and his teammate is Song Song, who I'm a lot more familiar with. In the green, playing as the Mongols. And yeah, both again, everyone just getting up their Dark Ages up and running. I guess we can maybe discuss the civilizations and how they the synergy with their partners.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of my favorite things to do is actually discuss the civilizations. One of my favorite things about this game. So let's start with Lyx for the Lyx and Max's team. So Lyx playing as the Aztecs, probably one of the strongest Arabia civilizations, particularly in a 1 versus 1 or a 2 versus 2 scenario. I actually like 2 versus 2s a lot. I think they're very underrated. I'm waiting for another 2 versus 2 tournament. But what I like so much about 2 versus 2s are that I think that the late game civilizations that can be strong but weak on 1 versus 1, civilizations like the Koreans, the Saracens, I think they get a little bit better as they get more towards team game settings.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, the very strong 1 versus 1 civilizations also stay very strong because it's pretty similar to a 1 versus 1. So I think it evens up the civilization dynamics a bit. Anyway, the Aztecs are a very strong civilization. We'll no doubt see some Eagle Warriors from them, very strong economy, and a good early game from them. And I'll go over to the Max. Max is playing as the Chinese. Nice team game civilization with all the farms getting 45 extra food. Great economy with their technologies being discounted. Start with probably 1 extra villager, a net 1 extra villager after all things are sorted out, and a very diverse tech tree.
So, BacT's Civ Byzantines. Byzantines are an interesting animal because they're not considered a particularly good 1v1 Arabia civilization, but that really belies their stellar win rate. Their win rate is right up there with some of the best, like Aztecs or Mayans or those other top tier civs. It's like I think those other civs, their highest win rates were somewhere around like the 70 percentile, and Byzantines were right up there with like 65. But they also have, like the Chinese, very diverse tech tree. But I think they do have some notable holes though, but their bonuses can help make up for that. I'm kind of in a team game setting. I'm kind of noting most about their camels, which miss bloodlines, and later on they miss blast furnace as well. But they are cheaper, so that's especially going to be impactful in the mid game. If any of these guys are busting out knights, then the Byzantines are going to have the most cost-effective camels in the game for that point to counter them. Song Song Civ Mongols. A bit of a Civ that's fallen from grace, I guess you could say, for as far as Arabia is concerned. But they still do have their strength, especially with the hunting bonus. As you can see, Song Song is hunting his heart out right now, luring in all these deer. Chances are he's going to be powering on the cavalry, the scouts and whatnot, just because Mongols are so good at that. And of course, you can never forget about the Mongols late game, the Mangadai and the siege. It's really you don't mess with that, man.
Yeah, I think
The only
the
real
Mongols
problem is
personally are probably, if not the first, maybe the second strongest team game civilization, with maybe being the first being Indians. But overall, I think I would prefer personally the Aztecs-Chinese matchup. I think just Aztecs are so strong, and then Chinese with such a diverse tech tree. Chinese can go like cavalry or archers, and eventually Lyx will go Eagle Warriors. But that said, I think maybe a late game might favor the Byzantine Mongols composition, because clearly the Mongols would be the strongest late game civilization if they can get themselves up and running.
Yep. And you're talking about the whole dynamics of 2v2. What the Mongols' downside or their downfall was always their mid game because they don't have much in the way of an economy bonus at that point in time. But honestly, the Byzantines don't either, but they can at least kind of defend and counter things well, so I think there'll be a bit of a buffer for the Mongols at that point in the game.
Alright, so currently in this game, all the players going up to Feudal Age, it looks like we'll have forwards from BacT, the Byzantine player, bringing forward 5 villagers and a few militia, and a forward from Lyx, bringing forward 4 villagers and 2 militia, and both players also bringing a wolf, by the way. And the other players will just play probably defensive or go for scouts in the situation.
I just had to say how far the rush distance is for both of these guys.
It's a really weird... I mean, it's a weird decision to do that when you have such a long rush distance. These villages are taking forever to move across the map.
Yeah. By the time he gets there and try to plop down these towers, Song Song's going to have like 1 or 2 scouts out.
So I don't think this is... I think this is a good strategy if you're these particular civilizations going against a civilization where it's a pretty sure bet they'll go with scouts. Although that said, I wouldn't forward a Mongols because they're going to be up so early. And again, with these rush distances, this looks pretty bad. As all the players are in Feudal Age, but still, I don't see any barracks up yet, or any archer ranges or towers up yet.
Yeah. Let's see the potential damage to be done for the Max, who's being forwarded by BacT right now. He's got a vulnerable stone, but his main gold in the back is safe, so I think this is a map ultimately he can work with. He also has a stone in the back, wondering if BacT is going to be able to see that. And Song Song is being forwarded by Lyx right now. His map actually looks reasonably safe too. It's going to be really hard for Lyx to pressure that gold and these stones, especially with his tower coming up.
So Lyx trying to go for the stable, unsuccessful in getting it down. We do have a little bit of an opportunity for Lyx. If he can get through this wall, he can actually place a tower on both stones of Song Song. Song Song has not gone for a stone quite yet, as he needs a lot of food for scouts. Maybe he's going to try to take the engagement with the scouts and go from there.
Ooh, Song Song got that house foundation down just in time.
Yeah, very close. That tower's...
Oh, well, it wouldn't have mattered.
And actually, Song Song's cleaning up all the men-at-arms and going to work onto the villagers. And this is looking very bad for Lyx. I never liked this decision to go forward, and yeah, it looks like Lyx's pressure is going to be stopped right there.
Ooh, one more scout going down for Song Song, though. He doesn't have much in the way of offensive presence right now, which I guess sort of makes up for the fact that Lyx's push was a little unsuccessful. And of course, got to keep in mind Aztec farmers, second best farmers in the game. So I don't think he's going to be that far behind in the long run. But right now, I think he definitely has to defend from these 2 weakened, but still, I think, threatening scouts.
Down in the south, BacT having actually a little bit more success. He's doing pretty well pushing with his men-at-arms, although they are quite low now. Only 1 man-at-arms remaining. The Max doing full trash. And these towers from BacT not really doing a whole lot either, so I think both the forward players not doing a whole lot of damage. I would say that Lyx is behind Song Song as far as economy goes. And in the south, so 30 villagers. BacT's actually doing a little bit better as far as economy, although these villagers are kind of idle. If they get this tower up, that'll be great. And it looks like they will.
Yeah, these trash units just not strong enough to take care of these villagers. So what can he do?
What a great tower from BacT, taking away the berries, taking away a little bit of the wood, and destroying 2 farms as well. Going to kill 2 spearmen. Going to get lucky with that one.
Thing is, Max really desperately needs another tower, and he's trying to gather stone, but he's still like a good 60 or 70 stone away from another tower. His wood lines are in serious danger right now. And this is the risk with going double lumber camps in the same forest. If it gets denied, both of your wood income is completely toast.
And this is a pretty close position, so BacT+'s really going to try to go for that tower. Those spearmen are getting a lot of town center fire. And I'm not sure this tower's going to get up. Most of these villagers are on full HP, so I think it will get up, but it's going to be very close. Counter tower coming down for the Max. Is he going to be in time? Oh, I don't know.
He can try. He's really gonna have to focus fire like a madman to try and deny this. No, it's not gonna. It's not gonna go up before BacT+.
And what is the Max doing? He's trying to take some more wood, but they're going the wrong way. Oh god.
But then to be fair for Max, though, this was his only decent force, so I guess he kind of had to do 2 lumber camps here.
Oh, the Max trying to save that villager with a sneaky trick, but it didn't work out.
Delete these farms, man! They're gonna kill all your economy.
He's being very stubborn. So let's check back in the north. Lyx is still trying to add some towers around the base of Song Song, but Song Song's perfectly safe. Song Song is probably going to go up to the next stage fairly shortly. He's got to mark it up, has a good amount of food and gold.
Song Song's like the embodiment of can't touch this right now.
Yeah, and actually sending scouts. Look at the scouts he's sending towards the south of the base. This could do some massive damage.
Oh, man. I would... If those scouts get on my eco, I would be raging at this point. He's gonna try... he's gonna put down some palisades, but it's too late, man.
I would be especially angry if Lyx did not tell me that scouts were on their way to my base. That would be so frustrating.
And in 2v2s, I know, assuming the players were on the same team, they would probably use like Discord or TeamSpeak to communicate, but Lyx and Max are not on the same team, so...
Yeah, they probably can't communicate very well.
Yeah, but they're not even shooting messages to each other. Like, what is up with that?
Well, I think Lyx only speaks Chinese and the Max does not speak Chinese.
Oh my god. Disaster. Oh man, that's a disaster. Only skirms defending these villagers from the scouts. That's not gonna cut it.
So total disaster in the Max's base. His economy is pretty shot. Song Song and Lyx did get up to the next age. The Lyx is actually going to place a nice tower on the wood line of Song Song, forcing him to move over. But Song Song is actually going to go for a castle, unless he's going to sell that stone, which I don't think he will. So going to go with early Mangadai. I really like that decision against what Lyx is doing right now. Lyx just has some barracks up, so Mangadai should be very good.
And when you look at the Mangadai, the elite version was nerfed with the expansions, but the Castle Age ones was buffed. They only have half the frame rate that they used to, so they're still easier to use than Cav Archers.
This is going to be very annoying if Lyx is able to place a tower onto the other player on the team, BacT+. He's got some 2 eagles in their area. Oh, I don't know if BacT+'s going to react to this. That's going to be a nice tower.
Can you even see this?
Oh, he does. There we go.
Okay, now he can see it. I think he got town watched by the looks of it.
Oh, he's Byzantines.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm stupid. Like that's a bonus. It's a very underrated bonus because it
Extremely
saves
underrated.
lives.
So underrated, most players don't even notice it.
And if you play like more of a closed map like Arena, it's really easy to notice. Like everything's black in your base, and it's like I can see clearly now. Once you hit Feudal Age. Yeah.
Alright, so all the players are actually up to the next age. Lyx is going to go for Eagle Warriors. He's already got a few out on the map. And he's going to place another tower down in BacT+'s base. BacT+'s got 2 towers defending. So Lyx has the map control for now. However, Song Song is about to place down his castle and go for Mangadai, which should be fairly strong.
I was gonna make a comment earlier about how it looks like I was right just because the Aztec farmers are just so ridiculous. Even though Lyx's push got pushed back, got denied for the most part. He wasn't up too much later than Song Song.
Well, part of it is he hasn't made any military really, so that helps as well. Hasn't had to build an extra military building or invest into anything.
Just some defensive spears, because Song Song was sticking with scouts like the whole Feudal Age.
And I think if
Couple
you're
of
Licks, you
knights.
want to do as much damage as you can before those Mega come out and they get masked. If you're ahead in the Eagle, ahead in Eagle Warriors, then that'll bode pretty well. But if you start to get behind, then that's the worst case scenario.
Yeah. So Max is the last one up to Castle Age. It makes sense just given how much pressure his economy has been facing.
And look at what BacT+'s doing. He's actually adding a stable and a monastery behind his towers. That's such a strong push. Monks go really well with towers. You can garrison them in the towers. Both the units have really long range, so this could be a very strong push. It's one of the areas where the Byzantines can excel, going for a monk push.
I was wondering if Max would have put down a siege workshop to try and clear off all these towers, but it looks like he's just opting to boom instead. First town center coming down, and pretty soon the second one, I imagine.
It's going to be kind of hard to take out these towers. They are all together and on a hill, and it's going to get even harder once these knights and monks come in.
Makes me wonder if Byzantine camels are gonna... Oh yeah, he's making some camels right now.
Oh god. Look at Song Song's base. Look at the Eagle Warriors.
Oh no.
Killing so many villagers. How did they get in? Oh, must have been a sloppy play. Gonna kill 3 villagers.
Oh.
That's actually not too bad.
Yeah, it looks like there's an opening just to the south here. I think that was like that was a weak house foundation or a palisade foundation, something. But of course, Eagle's no match for either the Mangadai or Knights, so they'll clean that up for the time being.
And a lot of players pretty slow to add town centers. They're really investing a lot into their armies and their pushes. BacT+'s about to start a really strong push. Now has a siege workshop up, so we'll go to work on the town center of the Max. The Max just needs to mass knights and even more knights. But that said, he's going into such a terrible army composition against the camels, spearmen, and monks that BacT has. Maybe the Max is going to have to either transition to another unit or going to have some help from his ally.
Now, as I was saying, these camels, statistically they're crappy, but because they're so cheap, they are the best camels for the Castle Age.
Probably, yeah.
They
are, yeah.
Like statistically they are.
And well,
it's more of a matter of cost efficiency in the mid game, just because you're probably not gonna pop cap yourself in Castle Age. So yeah, Byzantine camels are the best at this point in time.
Here's the first mangonel for BacT+. Probably he could actually have his choosing of which town center he wants to go to. That's a bad town center position for the Max, if he knew that this push was coming. Obviously,
yeah.
Didn't expect it. Now the Max is going to go with the siege workshop of his own, and this could be get really complicated, especially if these monks start to get redemption and the monk upgrades.
Byzantine monks are fantastic.
Yeah, they are.
I guess the only concern, though, as I was talking about the camels, though, is that the Max has 2 stables, whereas BacT+ only has the 1, so he could very easily get outnumbered still.
And looks like this is going to be the first raid of the game for Song Song, coming in with a few knights, and Mangadai going to snipe down the monk very quickly before any conversions happen. However, those knights and Mangadai going to take a lot of spearmen and eagle hits, going to get heavily damaged and have to move back.
Yeah, back it up, man. Don't lose your Mangadai for free.
Oh, lost 4. And right now, the strongest player being BacT+ with the best military and the best economy. I think that Lyx is probably going to catch up. He's on at least 3 town centers. But still need to see some sort of defense. Let's see if the Max can get a few lucky mangonel shots.
Thing is that BacT+'s Mangonel is technically on a hill. If he wants to trade, he needs to delete his Mangonels, sadly.
Not going to get the engagement he wants. BacT+'s actually got a castle back at home, so he's even going cataphracts, which will be a very hard counter to anything that Aztecs can offer.
I was actually wondering that at the beginning when I was naming off considered pricey and hard to get to, but it could be more possible in a team game, especially against a civ like the Aztecs, which Cataphract's basically hard counter.
I would definitely say it's more possible in a team game, but just the Cataphracts, if there's any one civilization they counter really well, it would be the Aztecs.
Yeah. I personally am a bit of a supporter for lowering the upgrade costs on these guys a little bit. Just because, I mean, just based on the fact that there are better unique units out there that cost a lot less to upgrade.
I am too. You don't want me to advertise my own balanced things right now, because I'll go on for forever about it. But yeah, that was a popular change in like the Carlos balance as well.
Max has had enough, man. He wants these guys dead.
He's got enough.
He's just praying that he's massed up enough knights to try and turn this back, but it doesn't look like it.
I think he got the mangonels, which was the important thing. And he's got enough. I just get a little nervous when I thought the Max might have been able to push this to take this over, because I always get nervous when I see the Max and Knights. He does really well with Knights, at least to my observation anyway.
Yeah.
And booming in Knights, I guess because his boom is always so strong. But he's had a really great boom. It's 94 villagers. BacT has invested a lot into his economy, but not so much into this push. We didn't see that many camels, spearmen. He had the army composition, but just not enough of the units he needed.
So basically, Max is to Knights what Leary is to crossbows, huh?
Perhaps. I think it's because the Max has... Well, the Max is just a really good team player. So I guess he is really good with Knights, but he's also a great boomer.
Oh, so I've heard. And just even on an individual level, I think Max is Finland's best.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would dispute that.
Or Valessa might have something to say about that, though. I think those two are relatively close in skill level.
I like Rubenstock with Tuta.
Song parking one manga die here, try and screw up this gold mine from Lyx. Bringing more in here. Oh, these villagers caught out of position.
So we have the two North players, the Aztecs and the Mongols, both in the Imperial Age. I noticed Lyx just getting Horse Collar now, so his economy's not exactly where it should be. Getting Elite Eagle Warrior, but if Song can afford Elite Mangadai and all the upgrades for it, then he should have a much stronger army composition. And
which unfortunately he doesn't. So this is Lyx's golden opportunity right now, while the Mongols are still trying to get up their Imperial army. Can he do it? Because he's got Elite Eagle Warrior and Plate Mail coming down. He'll be really resistant to these Castle Age Mangadai right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially because the Mangadai will need bigger mass. I think Lyx should just try to raid Song as much as possible. There's only one castle in his base. I think if you could gut out the Mongols now would be the best chance. I don't think you're going to gut out the Byzantines because the Cataphracts are too strong. But later on, just the Eagle Warriors are going to drop down in strength. And I think the Mangadai and the Cataphract should be able to handle it.
Yeah, Meso civs in general... The Native American civs in general aren't really built for post-stimp, in my opinion. I guess the exception would be Aztecs, just because they also have good siege. Maybe Incas, too, just because they can counter everything, but...
I would agree with you. I think they're all a step down in Imperial Age. The Mayans, you notice it so much because they are so strong in the other ages that they're always ahead. But I would agree with you.
Hopefully you'd want to... Hopefully you'll have closed out. Sorry. Hopefully you'll have closed out the game with the mines before it gets to that point.
Yeah, where you don't want to be even. But I do like the castle from on the bottom for BacT. BacT's gone into full Cataphracts. He's into the Imperial Age. He's got a lot of food banked up. I wouldn't be surprised to see him afford the Elite Cataphract upgrade.
This is such a ballsy castle.
Which one?
The one to the north of Max's base that Song's trying to put down. Thankfully, he's got a good amount of support, though. But Eagle Warrior raid coming in from Lyx into Song's base, and he still hasn't patched up that hole from earlier. This is terrible.
And the Eagles are gonna get in. Oh god.
They have full armor upgrades, man. These guys are gonna last forever.
And the Trebs are taking down one of Song's castles too, so he's gonna be down only onto one castle. Although he's building a second. Oh, the second was actually denied.
Song finally patching up that hole, but it's too little too late, man. The eagle damage has been done.
That castle from Song is a goner. I mean, that's castle's like 70% built and gonna lose all the stone from that.
Yeah, at least he does have elite Mangadai down and almost all his upgrades. Just needs to grab Parthian, I think.
So I think this game is... I think Song is going to be a little bit... I mean, he's got to have some great army control. He's going to have to wait till he gets a second or third castle to really do something with this. Lyx is doing a ton of great raiding, and Song's only down to 60 villagers. Wow. So Song's really out. I think the max needs to... it's going to be between... I think BacT's definitely going to have to carry a lot of the load.
Thing is, at least Song does have this decent group of Mangadai, so assuming he can keep them alive... I say that as some of them get picked off by these Eagle Warriors, but assuming he can keep enough of them alive, he might still have some offensive presence in this game.
And there we go, BacT making elite cataphract. Again, I think a lot of this game depends on BacT. BacT being able to push, being able to hold. Looks like down in the south, trebuchet battle going on. It'd be hard to take out a business.
Max trying to forward, he's trying to get to this gold mine, but BacT's not going to allow that.
And it looks like Song is going to have a little bit of time to rebuild. He's only on 60 villagers. It's looking really bad for him. But he does have 2 castles up, and he has afforded most of the important upgrades. So, not the worst scenario. And again, late game, I do like his army composition. Who do you take in this game?
Sorry?
Who do you think's going to win? Who do you think's doing better?
Oh, I think the VNA team is holding up a bit better. I think they just have a little bit more map presence right now. Well, as far as BacT
definitely
is concerned. But the thing is, can he keep it up? I mean, I think the score is very deceptive right now because, amazingly, despite all the raids, Song is still around the same score as Lyx. I just find that amazing.
The cataphracts are such a huge problem. Do you think Cavalier can effectively counter them?
Not elite cataphracts. You need paladins, fully upgraded ones, to deal effectively with elite cataphracts.
And you're not going to be able to go into camel. One of the reasons why the elite cataphract upgrade is so expensive is it's so hard to counter them once they're out.
Yeah, I guess so. But still, I mean, it's not to say that I think their cost reduction should be so that they become ridiculously cheap to upgrade, but still something more reasonable. Like, for example, most units that have an elite upgrade that costs food, they're around like the 1,000 to maybe 1,200 at the most. And then cataphracts are like 1,600, on top of another 1,000 food for Logistica, so...
So
it's
Logistica
really,
coming
really
in right
expensive.
now, making them even stronger. Lyx is doing a great job. If he's able to take down these 2 castles from Song's basically useless. As the only great thing he's got are Mangadai. And Lyx might get it.
I'm just laughing at this wood line from Lyx over here to the base. So many villagers under danger right now. But look at Song, he's not doing that much better. So many eagles in his base. And the only unit that's more annoying in your economy than freaking Huskarls, man. These guys they'll kill everything. And they're fully upgraded now too, Garland Wars.
Song's actually doing a ton of damage. He's kind of evening it up. Lyx used to be at like 100 villagers, 120. Now he's down to 80. So only 20 villagers more than Song, and that should continue to go down. And I think these Eagle Wars are going to get cleaned up by the cataphracts. 100%.
Oh, does he have the numbers?
There's no way you have enough numbers to go against cataphracts.
Yeah, not with Logistica, man. He was outnumbered at least like 2 to 1, though.
I think that's it.
Yeah, he was outnumbered at least like 2 to 1 right there, and these cataphracts just cleaned them up.
I think that's probably the game. I mean, So Lyx and Song Song about the same on economy. BacT+'s at a massive 150 villagers. And,
Yeah,
so a
you
lot
really
more
need it for
economy
cataphracts.
for VNA. Yeah, I think you need.
You really
yeah,
need
you
it for
do
cataphracts. Mr. GPN, he once told me he likened grabbing Elite Cataphract and Logistica as trying to afford Paladin and Siege Onager at the same time.
Exactly.
It's not easy.
It's like affording the 5th age. Yeah,
Oh, cataphract rates. This is not good. You know, cataphracts are thought to be weak to arrow fire. The thing is, Lyx has no ranged upgrades right now. His cataphracts are taking nothing.
Well, it wouldn't matter anyway, because I think the Aztec Arbalests are pretty trash without Ring.
And the trample damage paying off dividends to killing these villagers too.
I think that's it. Lyx is dead. Man. Such an effective
Yeah, we were
combination.
talking. Yeah, it's so ironic. We were talking about Song Song being out of the game. It's Lyx who's out of the game.
Yeah. Well, Song Song was able to keep his massive Mega Die, and that was the key. And then BacT just bailed him out a few times with the cataphracts.
Yeah, which I was pointing out. If you can keep him alive, he's in a decent position, which he did. That being said, though, Max looks like he's regaining some map control.
Yeah.
I think just because Song Song had to divide his attention to try and help on the other side. Will it be enough? Arbalests are out for Max now, try and counter those cataphracts.
The ideal army for the Max would probably be Chuckanu. Interesting thing this game, we're 50 minutes in and still no trade out on the field.
They're too preoccupied. Something that happens to me all the time, too. Wait, Logistica again?
Must have been canceled.
Oh. I could hardly tell just because they were deleting those eagles earlier.
No, that was only at 50% of their true power. Now here comes 100%. Alright, so I guess the Max is going to have to push this game back. Oh boy. It's going to be really hard. Because the Max still doesn't have a viable counter to Cataphract. I think once he goes... If he goes Chuckanu, then he'll have a good choice of army. But until that point...
I mean, Arbalests are reasonable. He's asked them out.
Okay. Okay, but they're so slow.
Alright, Lyx trying to set up trade. But what good is that gonna do in his situation? He has no economy.
Look at the Max on the map. Just all over the place.
Yeah, he's raiding up a storm in BacT+'s base. It's amazing he still has over 100 working villagers.
Something that might come into play. Fast. I mean, BacT+'s probably. I mean, all the players are probably running out of gold at this stage. The Cataphract's quite a gold-expensive unit.
Mm-hmm.
Max has a bit of more efficient army. I've been adding. I don't. And actually,
in the words of Res 22, some games it's really not a matter of winning. It's a matter of trying to lose as slowly as possible. So
Song Song's actually down to 50 bills. He's he must have gotten raided again heavily. So these guys are really trading blows between Song Song and Lyx. Just I'm gonna damage
yeah,
you.
they are.
I'm gonna damage, you know. Hit for a hit.
So, Song Song actually has a lower vill count than Lyx. That's surprising.
Yeah.
Lyx is trying to recover, but what is he going to recover into? Aztecs are one of the more gold-intensive civilizations out there, in my opinion.
I don't think there's a better choice of army than he's got right now. Just wondering when these players are going to try to establish some more trade. I have some trade from the stronger players.
The cataphracts in the trade line, though.
Yeah, that said, there's some eagles in the trade line as well.
Yeah, there are.
So it looks like the Max is going to gear up for a big push onto this castle. He's got a bunch of siege rams, most of them getting taken out by the Halbs. That was a pretty poorly coordinated effort from the Max.
That castle's on a hill.
It didn't even get touched.
Yeah. Byzantines have the best castles in the game for holding positions, because Siege just has to pound it that many more times for it to go down. Mass Halberdiers coming out for BacT. Wants to counter all this cavalry.
Alright. So Lyx asking for some food and some where's maybe gold. So he's a little more resources. Has no trade out at the moment. And some Mangonai down in the back, but it looks like they will get cleaned up. Mangonai are going to be such a great raider going into the late game.
Yep.
Scores right now about 2,000 difference, 2,000 more for VNA. Yeah, the villager count for Song Song's ridiculous. It's only down at 50. Oh my gosh.
Oh dear. What is he gonna do? You know, in a team game setting, Mongols, their best students are all wood and gold. So it's not uncommon for me to have seen a Mongol player abandon their entire farming eco just so they can go onto wood and just set up trade carts just so they can pump out siege and Mangadai for days. But he's staying on farms because he's also adding in Hussars into his army to try and act as a bit of a meat shield for his Mangadai that are left over. And they're doing that job very well, actually.
I think this game is really hard to call because I can't ever tell who's winning it. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I do.
I really don't know who's winning it. I see Song Song and BacT like cleaning up armies, but then I look at Song Song's villager number and I'm like, it's not really happening.
And we can talk about Lyx again. He's recovered like 3/4 of his economy.
Yeah,
He's like
yeah.
back up past 90 villagers. Whereas I think Song Song's getting a bit of amnesia as far as like producing villagers is concerned.
It's hard to call because I mean Song Song's army is just so much better. All right, I'm gonna hedge a bet here. I think that DNA is gonna take this. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. But it's gonna be a long and painful battle.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think they're gonna go for a big raid right now. Hard to say. So the Max looks pretty safe. He's got a lot of army. I wonder if Lyx can defend from another big raid.
Yeah, Lyx is tired of the Mangadai raids. He just researched Atlatl. Thinking about some skirms.
Oh, he's getting serious. That'll throw it off the Mangadai and the Hussar. Probably not.
Keeps coming down for the Max too. It's a bit surprising. Keep support is usually reserved. I usually associate with Koreans or what's the Japanese with Yazama.
Well, we might be seeing it become more popular in the meta now. Go for guard tower and keep. That's my suspicion.
But at least in like a team game setting, I think bombard tower would make more sense because Chinese get that too.
It does now. For raiding, the keeps might be more effective. I'm not exactly sure. The keeps certainly don't cost as much gold, so that might be a factor.
Well, they cost no gold actually. GG called from the lakes, and then yeah, Max tried, man.
Yeah.
But in the end, he just couldn't push enough.
I really love these army compositions. Just seeing the cataphracts really go to town was really a highlight for me. But Lyx and Song Song going for blow was good as well. What do you think about this game?
Looks and Song. Yeah, it's like one 1 minute there's an Eagle raid in Song's base. The next minute there's a Elite Mangadai raid in Lyx's base, and then BacT coming in with a horde of Cataphracts to raid as well. And his economy was in shambles again. It was like 90 like 2 minutes ago. It's now below 60 now. And Lyx just couldn't catch a break.
Achievement.
I just closed out of them.
That's okay.
It's a habit.
I do that all the time.
I don't
too.
trust.
There's usually nothing important in the achievements, to be quite honest. I only look at it for like something interesting.
I see.
But some of the things that we already showed, BacT 160 vills. The castles were very low this game, surprisingly. Usually,
Yeah,
see, like,
you would
4
have
castles
thought
each
to.
player.
Yeah, castles for the Mongol player makes sense. Would have been made sense to see castles from the Chinese player as well, because like you said, Chukonu. That's their patented late game option. The Chukonu and the Siege Ram.
Okay, so do you want to take a 5-minute break? We'll go to game 3 and then maybe scrap game 4. These games are very long.
Yeah, I was about to note that.
Yeah, so when I choose the games of the week, I usually choose like intermediate to longer games, not like usually 2-hour games. But yeah, these are pretty long.
I figured. Okay.
All right, so we'll do a 5-minute break. I'll put a countdown on. See you in 5 minutes.
All right. Thanks.